Hey there, Max here. As today we enjoy ourselves on the beach, we're gonna talk a little bit about how to make friends the proper way. I recently worked with a guy who was very good at being direct with girls that he would meet. And so he would go up to those girls and tell them that he was interested in them. And because this guy is very attractive physically, it was very easy for him to be direct. But the problem is that it's not easy for him at all to be indirect. And so I told him, if you want to create a social circle to yourself, if you want to meet really attractive and interesting women, you have to learn to be more indirect. You have to learn to small talk, and you have to learn to, make friends the proper way. I feel a lot of guys never actually learn how to small talk, and a lot of guys never actually learn how to make friends. So in this video, we're going to address that. Alright, so if you guys want to make friends, you really have to understand that you can't actually go in there and make friends the same way you would go in there and try to meet someone in a romantic way. Even though you're gonna feel the conversation looks and sound pretty much the same, you can't really do it the same way because your intended outcome is not the same, your goal is not the same. And really, when you want to make friends with people, your goal is going to be finding commonalities, finding common points, and finding good reasons for this person to hang out with you again. The difference is huge because when you meet a girl because you're interested in her, of course you want to see her again because you're interested in her and you want to develop a romantic relationship, or you want to get laid with her, or whatever that is flirtatious. But when you make friends with a guy, for example, you can't see him again based on the fact that you like him. Unless you're gay, but that's up to you. When you meet girls or guys for that matter, you can't really tell them that you want to see them again because you're romantically interested, at the very least if you intend to make friends. So when you want to make friends, you have to find common points and you have to base the relationship on those commonalities. The first thing that you want to do is that you want to find this person that you would like to develop a relationship with, and you have to start the conversation. You don't want to wait for them to do something because most likely if you wait, nothing is going to happen. If you want something, you have to go for it. And that's very easy. You are gonna go up to them, you're gonna comment on something that's happening, on something that's in the environment around you, on something that they are doing, on something that you feel based on the context, and you're gonna add your personal input. For example, you're at the gym and there is a girl or a guy who is lifting weights beside you, and you think that the grip of those weights is a little bit weird. You're gonna go up to them and tell them, hey bro, how do you feel about those weights? I can't really carry them. The grip is so weird. You're gonna comment on the context, on something that's common to you and them, and you're gonna add your personal input. In this example, the personal input is the fact that you can't actually grip the weights because they are kind of weird. That's what you want to do when you want to start the conversation in a friendly way. You go up to someone, you comment on what's happening, and you give your personal input. If the person wants to talk, it's gonna be obvious. They are going to give you something back, and then you can keep talking, bouncing back on what they say. If they don't want to talk, well, you will see it very obviously as well. They are not going to give you much back to talk on. Either way, based on what they say, based on how they react, you will keep the conversation going by bouncing back on what they said, by adding more meat to the conversation. Basically, you are going to small talk your way into getting to know them. At the beginning, you don't want to start with huge topics like, do you think we're alone in this universe? At the beginning, you're gonna be very basic and very superficial. And when you think about it, that's pretty much how you start a conversation and how you start a relationship with anyone. The first things you talk about with this person can't be very deep because you don't really know the person. You don't know what they react well to. But the more you talk with them, the more you get to know them, the more they get to experience you, the more comfortable they will be in opening up with you. And that's how you will be able, after a few minutes of conversation, after going through a few topics, that's how you're going to be able to get to know the person, and that's how you're going to be able to find common points with those persons you're talking to. That's very important there again, because you want to base your relationships on commonalities. You want to create friendships on commonalities. That's the easiest way to make it happen. So go and find those commonalities through small talk. Once you find those commonalities, talk a little bit about it. Try to dig a little bit deeper. Figure out how this person does about this common point that you have. And maybe you will find an opportunity to invite this person out based on this commonality. Try to go over a few topics, because the more commonalities you have, the more a person is going to feel comfortable about seeing you again, about getting to know you, and about opening up to you. So keep this up for 5 to 10 minutes, more if the context allows it, and then get the person's contact. The idea there is that you want to get the person's contact on the fact that you are going to invite them to some event based on the commonality that you have. And that's it, you just made a new friend. It's not that hard, it's actually very simple and natural when you think about it. The key there is that you don't want to force it, you don't want to force yourself, you don't want to force the other person, you don't want to try hard, because if you try hard it's going to look very weird, you're going to come off as you don't have any friends. But find commonalities, find things between you and the other person that will make the person want to hang out with you again. It's not about you as a person, but it's 100% about the other person in front of you. What do they find valuable? What things can you add to their lives? What common points do you have with them? If you find common points, if you find the value that you can add to this other person's life, it's going to be extremely easy for you to make friends. What's up?
Hello, Daddy. Do you want some coconut?
Oh, yes. I'd love it.
Come with me then.
You will see that making friends is not that hard, and that it's actually quite different than what you would do if you actually go up to girls because you're romantically interested in them. But it's not necessarily harder. In my opinion, it's more relaxing because you should not have an outcome. You should not be attached to the outcome. Like, honestly, you don't really care whether or not you can make friends with people, with one specific person most of the time. And if you do this the proper way, if you're very chill in doing this, if you're very chill in just small talking with people without having an outcome, you will see that you will very easily make many friends. Because most people are uncomfortable when it comes to doing small talk. Most people don't really know what to do when it comes to, well, making small talk. And most people who go talking to other people either thinking that they are being judged and that they have a performance to maintain, or trying to get something out of the person they are talking to, or both at the same time. So if you're able to just go in there, give your personal input, and have 5 minutes of small talk after that, while emphasizing the common points that you have with those people that you meet, it's going to be extremely easy for you to make friends. Once you do that, don't forget to get their contact so you can see them again, and so that you can invite them to other activities that they will like. Not because of you, because you're an amazing person. I'm sure you are, but try to take your ego out of it. When you meet people, it's 100% about them and 0% about you. But they will like to hang out with you because there is value in the friendship. There is value in the things that you can do. There is value in the things that you can bring to them. And generally, you're a nice person to be around. So that being said, I want to talk a little bit about the difficulties that most guys can face when it comes to making friends with guys or with women. First, most people are insecure. That is to say, most people are afraid of being judged for, well, having a regular conversation with random people. Most people are afraid to put themselves out there, and that makes most people absolutely incapable of giving their personal input. For example, maybe that's you. You find yourself at a party with people that you don't know, and you're totally unable to start having a small talk with those strangers because you're afraid if you talk about this, if you try to get to know them, if you try to engage them, they might judge you, because you're afraid that if you put your personality out there, those people are going to judge your personality. If that's you, if you're afraid of being judged for being yourself, let me break it down to you right here, right now. No matter what... The waves are getting huge, I'm getting scared. No matter what you do, whether you act or whether you don't act, people are still going to judge you. So, do you want people to judge you because you don't do nothing? Or do you want people to judge you because you try to put your personality out there? The thing is, no matter what you choose, people are still going to judge you. If you sit on the couch at a party, not talking to anyone, people are going to judge you because you're not talking to anyone. And same context, if you sit on the couch at a party and you try to talk to other people, whether you are extremely interesting or whether you're a little bit lame and creepy, people are still going to judge you either way. So the thing is, no matter what you do, people are going to judge you. Now there is only one scenario in which you come on top, and this scenario is not by not taking risks. The only scenario in which you can come on top is by taking risks and by risking putting your personality out there. Maybe people will like it, maybe people will not like it, but point is, if you don't do anything, you will still be judged, but you won't be able to win whatsoever. The other major difficulty guys might face is the fact that, well, going through small talk is fucking boring. Especially to me, probably less for most people, but especially to me and probably to a lot of guys watching this video. Going through having a nice chat, small talking with people that you don't know might be super fucking boring, because what's interesting in this person that you don't know? If that's your case and if you find this very, very boring, you want to force yourself, because either way you can't create meaningful relationships if you don't start anywhere. And the best way to start a relationship is still through small talk. It's still to start the conversation by talking about stuff that's superficial. Yes, at the beginning it's boring, but eventually it's gonna get less and less boring, because the more you know someone and the more a person is comfortable talking with you, the more this person is going to open up to you, and the more you're going to be able to find commonalities, and the more you're going to be able to figure out that, oh, you like this thing, well, I like this thing too, oh my god, that's amazing, bro. Alright, that's gonna be pretty much it for this video. The main takeaway there is that if you want to make friends with people, you don't want to filter your personality, and you want to take the risk of going up to them, and you want to take the risk of starting something. Because you really have to understand that if you are transparent, well, people won't hate you, but people won't love you either way. And so the only way to actually get somewhere and the only way to actually make friends is to take the first step, go up to them, start the conversation by giving your personal input, by putting your personality out there. Small talk a little bit right after to figure out common points that you might have with those people, and then simply ask them out again based on those commonalities. It's going to be very easy for you to kickstart your social circle if you do this, especially if you cold approach a lot, especially if you meet people, because then you can meet the friends of their friends, and you're going to have a great social life in doing so. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you would like to see more of the beach or of this kind of content, consider leaving a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.